Also, I have a challenge for the chat. Somebody make a cheerful, like with Photoshop or something. There must be a generator or something. We need some cheerfuls in here. And if you don't know what cheerful is, a cheerful is the little signs that people hold up during a StarCraft match that just has, you know, like, go so-and-so, or just random artwork that's randomly awesome, and I wish I could draw that well. But yes, let's see some cheerfuls.
The random boss toss paintings.
Yes.
Speaking of, MC not doing very well recently.
MC has always been kind of all over the place. He seems like he figures out a timing and then murders someone with it. And then he'll turn around and say, oh, by the way, I'm also great at macro. And then he'll just face plant into something else. He's a fantastic player, and I think he's... I don't know if he's still the #1 earner of all time.
I believe so. He's getting caught by Parting and Life very quickly, I believe.
I can believe that, for Life at least. I know Parting's good, but I didn't know he was winning all that much.
He won a lot in End of Wings of Liberty with the Immortal Century All-In. Plus, I'm not sure the overall winnings actually includes contracts, because Parting just got several months ago got an $86,000 contract.
Oh, yeah. And, so, okay, we are good to go, it looks like. GLHF. I will join in... No, say it. Yes, okay. I got it in.
Okay.
It's very important that you say the whole thing, otherwise it's terribly bad manners.
Is it?
No. I just made that up.
Yeah,
I'll let you in on that secret. Alright. Doing our introductions. In the bottom right, winning game 1 with a nasty, nasty Speedling all-in is Sone as our blue Zerg. And in the top left, we have our green Zerg, Matz, who's coming up from the winner's bracket. This is our first best of 3 of the final set. If Matz wins this best of 3, which would be the next 2 games, he is the champion of our platinum bracket. If he loses this next game, it will go into a second best of 3, as Sone has come up from the loser's bracket to challenge our very own DRG, Matz.
And we should explain that DRG comment a little bit. Matz famously in the last week played a game where he had, I believe it was 493 average APM with spikes at about 600, which honestly is right about where DRG plays. It's pretty fantastic.
It is pretty hilarious, and Matz was actually in Silver League for a while, and is just now getting up into Gold League, but he plays more like a diamond. This is our platinum bracket, but these are actually 2 gold players on ladder that have gotten through the platinum gauntlet and come up to the top.
Very exciting. The Overlords are very, very critical for scouting on these massive maps, especially in ZvZ. You really want to know where your opponent is. So both Overlords going to scout. Sone has started going up, which I believe is actually slightly longer than across. So he will be a little later to see that the top right base is not his opponent. And as soon as, of course, both Overlords go across where they need to go, or this drone, both players will know where their opponent is, but not what build they've used.
Yes, and I apologize for the silence, but I had to put up a cheerful for sick. Oh, we have another one. We have another one. Okay, I cannot read anything that says, but I'm going to put it up anyway.
Go oHHo, or go Heartland Hitman, we're all winners.
We're all winners.
A very nice throwback to Barney by Sick here.
Yay! We're all winners. Yay! Okay.
This is fantastic.
So,
I had to recognize that you actually had that on stream.
All right. So, beautiful, beautiful artwork from Sick. Going back to the game, we have gas from both players, and both players going for an expansion. How mirrored is this, do you think?
Crucially, Sone actually hasn't put any drones into gas, so he's pretty far behind. He's taken a second gas.
Oh.
Drone transfer for Matz. There's a spine crawler rush from Sone. What a manner play.
Oh, I thought that was Matz's. I was wondering what sort of position that was, but that was right in Matz's face.
Oh, and he'll have to cancel it.
He will, and he does cancel it at the last second. So
But
25 minerals to give Matz a heart attack. I'd say that's worth it any day of the week.
It's true, but this drone will be caught by these lings now, or could be at least. They are faster than workers.
Yeah, it's always just such a maddening chase. It only really seems to catch them on the corners or hit them 2 or 3 times across the entire map. At least when I chase it. When I get chased by lings, you know, my worker dies every time. That's how StarCraft works. All your stuff is always weaker.
4 lings coming across the map from Matz, not really going to do much. I'm very interested in Sone's use of this drone, excuse me, that's towards the bottom left. These lings should get cleaned up fairly quickly. There's no baneling nest up yet for Matz, so this can't just be like a small baneling poke.
Yeah, and this queen alone should be more than enough.
Sone was very late to gas, so he still doesn't have metabolic boost up. He doesn't have anything out of his evo chamber, and with that delayed gas, I personally am not a huge fan of the evo chamber. Even if he does end up using it, it could have been put a little bit later. It's one of those little build order optimizations that you should look to make.
Absolutely. And another thing to note is the fear of Mutalisk might have some hand in that. Spore crawlers used to require an evolution chamber.
This is true. They no longer do in the Heart of the Swarm. Very, very important here that Matz's lair is roughly 30 seconds faster. 35 seconds faster than Sone's, and he already has speed out, and he has a baneling nest to Sone's not having a baneling nest. If he can get Mutas out fast enough, the speedling all-in isn't going to be enough, even with banelings or some other fun business. He'll have a really hard time holding the Mutalisks.
And it looks like Sone has just started putting up gas at his expansion, whereas Matz has been mining gas from his expansion for some time, so he'll have much more resources to pour into Mutas.
And Matz right now should kind of try to conserve his lings and use them for map control. Now that he has his Spire going down, he really just wants to bank, especially the gas. Interesting that Sone's lair is, Spire is only about 10 seconds slower, and he has a lot more mineral banked. He has a lot more room to move with this, and neither player going for a third, the typical third being right after lair finishes. This will be an interesting transition into Mutas.
Well, we do have Sone now putting down a baneling nest, so some of the gas is almost inevitably going to go into there. But it looks like Sone is actually interested in doing some kind of pressure here.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to try to catch these lings, which, to be honest, is a good move. Matt's building 3 banelings towards his backlings, but I don't think those are going to finish before the speedlings get there. If Sone really focuses those down, he could be able to kill those, but he doesn't! Oh, man.
Oh, he misses it. He just runs right by them. And these lings are now doomed, so it's a question of how much damage can they actually do.
Oh, he's going to try to snipe the spawning pool. This is actually a really good move. He's going to split Matz's lings.
Oh, but it's not going to be remotely enough. That was cleaned up very handily by Matz.
That was a very, very good play by Matz.
And Matz with a bit of a mineral bank. I would love to see an expand.
Yeah, worker saturation for both players is a little lopsided. Sone only has 9 workers on his main with 19 on his natural. Matz with 12 on his natural and 24 on his main. A little bit of a transfer would be great for both players that would optimize their mineral income a little bit.
Definitely. We have some Mutas out for Matz right now, going around doing some Overlord hunting. And we have a lot more Mutas out for Sone.
Yeah, critically twice the number of Mutas. On the other hand, if we look at production, Sone has not opted to go for +1 Carapace, so he needs to do damage before that Carapace finishes. He has about a little over a minute before +1 Carapace finishes, which makes those Mutalisks significantly more effective, about 1 1/3 times as effective.
And Sone actually just got a Ling run by. Matz just ran by Sone and delayed those mutas and pulled them back. So this is buying some precious time for exactly what you described. That +1 Carapace is almost done for Matz, and that's going to make any muta versus muta way in Matz's favor.
Yeah, and right now it's 13 to 13 on the map in unit count, and Matz has 2 more in production. Sone's going for a third, which is a good move, but so is Matz, and it's equally timed. Functionally, it's slightly behind, but with that muta count, he is very far in the lead at the moment.
13-13. Sone's third is up, slightly before Matz's, but that shouldn't matter all that much. It's more a matter of can he hold it or not.
Sone will end up with 1 more muta. Amazing decision by Sone, I think, recognizing that he was delayed on his upgrade for those Mutalisks. He's going for an infestation pit. I'd love to see him take, I have to look at the upgrade, this is embarrassing, pathogen glance, and get some infestors out. We saw a game, I'm forgetting the player, where he completely crushed an overwhelming number of Mutalisks just with a couple of key fungals.
Yeah, the trick though is hitting those fungals, whereas in Wings of Liberty it was just a matter of clicking on where exactly you want that fungal at that moment. Now it's a projectile, so you have to lead the mutas, and if you see that fungal coming out, you can adjust your path of your own mutas to deny that. So it becomes a lot like skeet shooting, except it's with a gnat and a slingshot.
This is true. Sone killing off some of these Lings. This engagement is really bad for him, especially if those Lings go under. This is a very important move by Matz.
Yes.
If those Lings are under, they will absorb some of the glaive shots from Sone's mutas and give a lot more functional health to the high-cost, high-efficiency units.
And it does catch a few mutas off guard there. But yeah, never mind the +1 armor and about to be +1 attack for Matz for air.
Yeah, this will not go well for Sone. He does have a larger number of mutas, but like I said, those upgrades are just really overwhelming in muta versus muta.
Yeah, that glaive bounce gets completely neutered with that +1 armor. You do have a queen coming up from behind. Might be able to hold this off with the help of the queens. A couple transfuses.
He'll be able to hold this. That's not the issue. The issue is holding the third. Because if Matz is allowed to take an unmolested third,
and he is in the middle of losing that right now, it is gone.
Yeah, this is a very important thing for Matz to do. This situation right now is not looking good for Sone. An awesome pickup, actually, of that Baneling by his mutas. Some very good micro, but there are no infestors out. There are no hydras out right now.
Yeah, the infestation pit was built, but never really utilized.
Yeah, I think he was looking for the hive, but he didn't even use it for that. The Hydralisks really should have come out a bit sooner.
Yeah, he is getting the upgrade. Oh, he's getting a Nidus. Ooh.
Interesting decision. It could be effective, but with creep spread, unless it's positioned very well right about here, it's going to be seen. And using it for reinforcements in the front of the base is great with things that are slower against mutas. Like Hydras, but I'm not sure he's going to have the gas to sustain making a whole bunch of Nidus networks.
Or even just a whole bunch of Hydras at this point after all that muta investment.
Yeah. I think Matz has a fairly commanding lead in this game right now.
Alright, Matz moving in, checking for that third again, looking to kill it if it's there. He's going to be pretty happy, I think, when he sees that it is not in fact there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, coming in from behind, but those spores should be enough to deter any aggression.
You know, you would think, but...
Well, he lost a muta almost instantly. Spores are just so good against mutalisks now.
I don't know. To be honest, if he was smart about this, he could skirt around it, kill the spines, snipe a... Oh, we have
a Nidus, but we also have a bunch of Banelings being made by Matz right outside the natural. He might just be going for a bust at this point. This is going to hit almost at the exact same time. The Banelings are moving in along with the Nidus Swarm, spitting out tons of Hydras.
There's no speed on those Banelings, but it's really not necessary. They're there to clean up these... Oof.
Oh ho ho!
All those.
So much damage being done. I think even if Matz loses this third, he still can just take the game.
Yeah, I don't think this is a big deal for Matz. You know, in a base race situation, he's entirely in the lead right now.
Absolutely.
Not to mention, these Hydras would not actually... Well, first of all, the Lings are going to be fantastic against them. That number of Hydras wouldn't have killed all of Matz's Mutalisks. You need about a 1.5 to 1 Hydra to Mutalisk ratio with equal upgrades.
And there's the GG from Sone. Alright. Quite the game. And that evens up our first series at 1-1. Matz can take the entire thing by winning the next